Yo, what's going on, guys? Snooze Man back here with another YouTube video, and today we're actually talking about how to handle older players on your roster here in Madden 21 franchise mode. And I'm going to break this down through a couple key points here. So I'm going to show you guys some of older players that I have working with right now, and this is actually going to bring up in terms of stats and contracts. I'm going to break both of those down. So I'm going to go into my roster and see some of the older guys I have. I'm pretty sure I might not be able to. No, I can't sort by this, it looks like. But we can still sort this out by going through different positions and seeing what guys are the oldest. So we can go through positions and it'll show the age column right here. So let's see, I know the oldest player, now this is not a updated roster, but it still hits home. Ginn Jr. right here is 35 years of age. Now he is right now currently third in the rotation on our depth chart of receivers. Now, is he the third best receiver? No, he is not, especially with obviously a new roster or up-to-date roster. If he were still on here, which obviously he wouldn't be, he would be bottom of the poll here. But as we can see and we know of, he's not going to really give us a lot of production. At 35 years of age, he's really old. Obviously, he's regressed to the lowest point. He's 75 overall. But now we know one key thing. We know that he's not going to give a lot of value to our team in terms of play because he's too old. Or not even just that, but we know what we're going to get in terms of the slot. We'd rather have someone like Javon Wims, or really Darnell Mooney here in the slot. That's what we would want as a rookie here. But we have to look at his contract. So he has 390K penalty, which is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. So if we were to back out and go into salaries, which I'll show you guys really fast. I've brought up a couple points about salaries too, but I will go into salaries real fast and show you guys. Let me see here, Ginn. So his penalty is 390K, and we are paying him 890K for the year of this year, 2020. So as you guys can see, that wouldn't be bad to release him as well. We can make some money there. So we can make some money here right away just because we're paying him more than even his penalty is worth. So we can easily do something like that. Or what we can do is we can put him on the trade block. So somebody that isn't being paid a lot, that we wouldn't have to owe a lot to because he has a low penalty, we can easily put Ginn on the trade block. Or again, we can just release him. So there's a lot of different ways you can approach this if an older player is not making a lot. Now, let's say Ginn was making a lot and we wouldn't have the ability to trade him or release him and make, we wouldn't be able to get like, pay the value back. So his penalty is too much, so we can't trade him or we can't release him because we have to owe too much for him in the future. And his production level isn't doing great. So let's say you have all those odds stacked against you. Well, here's the thing, and this is the one thing that we need to do. When you're looking at Ginn here, being in the third spot, and you had all those three things stacked up against you, you would have to move him down in your depth chart. Make sure he is not going in your lineup, because at that point, there's nothing you can really do if he has a high contract and a high penalty as a very older player. There's nothing you can simply do. You're handcuffed at that point, and you have to move him down your depth chart. And you can do that one of two ways. You can go into adjust lineup there, or we can just go into my team and we can go into depth chart, and then we can look at wide receiver. We can bring somebody like Darnell Mooney into the slot there for Ginn. Now Ginn's a sixth guy, he's never going to get in. So that's something you want to keep aware of. If he is being paid a lot in terms of penalty, way more, his penalty is way more than what you're paying him for the current year. His production level is very low. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's say Ted Ginn wasn't as old as he was. Let's say he's 32 or something like that. It's still really, really old. But you knock off 3 years there, and he's actually giving you some decent production. Then we can actually keep him there if we're handcuffed. But at that point, if he's over that age and he has a contract that's actually not bad, then we can release him, get some value back from him, putting him on the trade block, or we can even just simply straight up trade him. Maybe some of you guys are asking how to add a player to the trade block. Now all we have to do is kind of back out of here, and we can even go to adjust lineup, or we can just simply go to our roster. But all you have to do is tap on him, and it'll offer a couple options here. We can just add him to trade block. It would take a week or two. You get some offers, and you can trade him there. So those are just a lot of different scenarios that I just threw at you guys. But remember, this is the biggest parts of this. What does he bring to your team? What does this older player? Remember to look at their age. Now, someone like Ted Ginn is way too old to even step on the field, but that's the first thing we should look at. But what is his production level for your team? Does he bring value to your team, in game and stuff like that? And his contract. Is his contract good or is his contract bad? And you can play it from there in terms of, cutting him, trading him, moving him down and your depth chart, and you're handcuffed at that point because there's simply nothing you can do because it's too much money. So that's how you can handle older players in all different type of ways. Now I know I did just one example for Ted Ginn, but he's really the oldest player in this roster right here for the Bears. Again, it's not an updated roster, but I think it's a great example because he's a very older player. And I know there's still older players like that are hurting teams based on cap situations. So make sure you guys are playing this right, because you can also benefit your gameplays and win more games off of this. So hopefully you guys learned a lot off of this. We are still trying to hit 300 subs. We are only 15 subs out. So hopefully we can get there, guys. Thank you guys for everything you have given me up to this point. But again, guys, that will be it for today's video. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next one.